The entire country remembering the late Brian Mulroney, who passed away yesterday at the age of 84. Joining us now for a health update, here's Dr. Iris Gorfinkel. Dr. Gorfinkel, good morning to you. We just learned that the former Prime Minister died, apparently, reportedly, at a Florida hospital after a fall. He was being treated for a recent fall. Can you just talk to us about just how dangerous falls are, particularly for seniors, how we can prevent them and what the dangers are?
You know, so many seniors fear falling, and they fear it for a good reason. What can happen when a person falls? Their wrist, right here, common fracture. Another common fracture, the hip. And that leads to serious problems in hospitalization, including pneumonia and complications from the surgery. And of course, hitting the head. And that is, of course, it's an instant life changer. So one thing seniors can do to try to prevent that is understand where the falls actually happen. They fall in the bathroom. They fall because of improper footwear. One of the simplest things to do is just wear running shoes. Get that traction going so the slippage is less likely. People fall on the stairs, and this is fascinating. It's the first stair and the last stair that they're most likely to fall on. The first stair because they didn't realize the stairs were there. The last stair because they're already looking where they have to go and don't see that last step. And down they go.
Mm-hmm. So your advice for our older demographics?
Be aware of how to prevent falls. And one of the best things to prevent fractures is actually balance exercises, Tai Chi, things that make you aware of where your body is in space. And upper body strengthening is always overlooked because which muscles have to catch us so that we don't fall? They're right here. So the stronger our shoulders are, the more likely we are to absorb that shock up here and not have it go here where we break.
All right, I also want to discuss with you this morning the new pharmacare bill that was tabled in Ottawa yesterday. Now, Alberta and Quebec, they say they plan to opt out of this program, but Ottawa claims that it's going to give us better and cheaper access to medicine. Will it, do you think?
Yeah, let me give you two words to respond. It's called volume discount. The more drugs Canada can buy at the bargaining table, the lower our price will be. And I ask you, if 1/3 of the population of Canada is missing, think about it. Alberta, Quebec, that's 1/3 of our population. That means 1/3 less bargaining power at the table. And that's a pity. We don't have to lose that. People are struggling with their co-pays. They're trying to figure out what they're going to pay, their rent, their food, and now this. Diabetic drugs are extremely expensive. So what's a person to do? I would suggest that Albertans and Quebecers talk to their MPs and try to get them so that Canada can be one country at the bargaining table instead of several different jurisdictions, every man for himself. We're just a more powerful country when we stand together.
A big concern right now on the health front is with regards to measles. What is your best advice right now when it comes to that? Because a lot of people are wondering, are we up to date on our vaccinations? We're traveling next month. What do we need to do?
Well, if everybody should have 2 vaccines, or if there's a history of measles and a person is traveling, the advice is to get 1 extra shot. So people born between 1970 and 1996 should have been vaccinated, but many of them are not. So the best answer is talk to your doctor, get vaccinated. Travel clinics also offer it. For people who do not have family doctors, they may be able to secure them at urgent care centers. It's a serious problem. But the question is, how do people recognize measles if it's there? Because it starts out, and I tell you, the best doctor cannot tell the difference. Is it a cold? Is it flu? Is it COVID? Or could it actually be measles? The least likely thing on the list, true, but they all start the same. Cough, runny nose, watery eyes, high fever. And I'll tell you a little secret about what measles does that's different. It's called Koplik spots. They're little tiny spots that appear on the inside of the cheeks just opposite the molars. And those little spots look like tiny grains of salt on a red base. And this is highly specific for measles. So if a person sees that, it's almost guaranteed to be measles. Other diseases don't do that. Not COVID, not the common cold, not other viruses. So that's why it's important. And then the rash disappears as it spreads down the body, trunk, back, arms, legs, palms, soles. So that's the big secret around measles.
Okay.
Isolate if you see that and get help.
We only have about 30 seconds left, but I wanted to ask you about Dr. Teresa Tam because she is recommending that you make sure your vaccinations are up to date before you head out on March break. Is there any concern that you could be too vaccinated or over-vaccinated if you're not sure if you're up to date on your measles shot? Should you just get it before you travel?
The measles vaccine is extremely safe. Canada has no shortage of it. So all travelers outside of Canada are recommended to get vaccinated. Even if we're traveling within Canada, I want you to picture for a moment Pearson Airport. You come in and people are standing shoulder to shoulder, literally hundreds of people in an area that who knows how good the air circulation is. So measles spreads by breathing it in, it's aerosolized, so it hangs around in the air for 2 hours, or by touching an infected surface. And guess what? The virus lives on that infected surface for 2 hours after a person has left. So you touch that, touch our face, nose, mouth, eyes, we can get the disease if we're not vaccinated. And there is no cure for it. No cure. We don't have antibiotics. It's viral. We don't have antivirals. They haven't been developed. So the best bet is vaccination.
Okay, sounding eerily similar to COVID in a lot of ways, measles. All right, Dr. Gorfinkel, thank you so much for this on a Friday. We appreciate it.
Many thanks for having me.